So slightly different format today. We thought we'd do a bit of a rundown of what happened at the auction down at Hinemoa Avenue. Let's hit play on this. So I wanted to give everyone a bit of a rundown of what's actually taken place. What happens at an auction, Marcus, when someone calls for an opening bid? It's usually like crickets.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, no one wants to, show their cards very quickly. It's funny though, what is it, 70% of the time, whoever does do the opening bid generally does win the auction. It's actually a really strong strategy, but this time, crickets.
So you see us talking to different buyers. At this point, interesting that a buyer was saying no, they didn't want to take any further bids. The buyer that you were working with, they had a buyer's agent?
They did. So they were a young family, obviously, as you can see by the baby. They brought a friend who was a buyer's agent who just literally came for the auction to help them to try and secure the property. And this is when it actually got pretty interesting, Josh, because we had another buyer who came into the piece late. We saw you then switch strategy from the buyer that you were with to then focus your attention on that buyer. And that's when I actually shifted back to your buyer. Because your buyer was still very, very interested. We just knew that we were getting to a level where these buyers, this couple had really hit their straps.
That's right. And then we saw this additional buyer. We had a little bit of competitive tension here. We essentially had these three buyers. So showing the reserve to the buyer, it's not something that we will often do, but we were, the bidding had stopped, we were at the highest bid, and we needed to get that buyer to increase their own bid. A lot of agents will typically go inside and work on the vendor and tell the vendor, hey, bring your price down, bring your price down. We're not about that. We want to go out to the buyers, having a discussion with the buyer about increasing their own bid. This is where that buyer then comes back and increases their own bid. This is where a party's going to call it away. Obviously giving everyone an equal chance to try and purchase it and then sold it.